Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive with myself, Erin Chandler. So these are big messages and I'm very, very excited. And the energy is amazing with all these, I guess, solar flares, shifting of planets. Take advantage of the energy when it aligns for you, folks, is what I'm hearing. So there's going to be time points during this process or these shifts. If you're feeling really, really big energy, there's going to be points of time where the energy is really aligned. It's electrifying. It's super clear. It's like no blockages, no barriers, no hesitations, and just this beautiful forward flowing momentum. Take advantage of that. And also take advantage of when you feel the kind of the slowdown or the friction. I'm hearing move with the energetic flows collectively. And I don't mean the people, I mean the higher dimensional energy and the frequencies in the universe and all those things. If you can just attune to the subtleties of that, because it's really not subtle, it's very loud. Let me know in the comments if you guys have really sensed into that or been feeling those extremes of like lots of energy or no energy or low energy. And the reason I say let me know in the comments is I'm trying to tune in here because I have two totally opposite energies coming through. And I actually wanted to come on here and talk about some of the stuff that was coming through and see what spirit wanted to add as a channeling aspect or wisdom or guidance towards this energy. And they're saying there's two separate messages here. So I want to channel into the serpent one. I'm going to do that in the next video. The first one I'm going to speak to here is about these energies. They're both connected to the energy, but they're different. They're different contexts, they're different layers, and they're going to speak to a different aspect of the self. So they're saying start with this, then next we'll move into the channeling with the waking serpent and where they are moving right now collectively. Anyways, okay, so I pulled cards. I don't always pull cards, you guys know that, but when I do it because I'm drawn to or guided to. I have two sets of souls here. I have the one set of soul that is deeply connected to the Dragonfly. This is truth transcends illusion. This is flying above after your transformation. Notice the swirls and the eye in the center, the all-seeing eye, the eye within, which leads you to a certain standpoint right now, I'm hearing, where you're into collaborative dreaming. So I'm using two different card decks. One is the Dreamweaver's Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and I'm also using the Sacred Rebels deck by Alana Fairchild, if you feel called to do those. This is significant, this card here. This is what I want to talk to in this first segment. I will timestamp the second segment, which is for those of you who are connected to the owl. And the energy of you listening for truth is what you're coming into. So these messages are different, but they're also connected. And for some of you on here, both of these messages are yours. And for some of you, it's one or the other. Fine tune your inner compass. Listen to the subtleties and the feelings in the body. You'll know if the dragonfly and the collaborative dreaming is drawing you, or you'll know if the owl and the conch is drawing you. You'll also know if both seem to kind of feel like it's really good. I have a weird like flowing energy like this that's happening through me and around me. It's so interesting. It feels wonderful, but it is speaking to the attunements and alignments of energies that are happening at this time as well. So the first one I want to talk about, Spirit wants to talk about the Dragonfly, and I'm not reading the meaning in these cards that are from the guidebooks. I'm reading these intuitively. Truth transcends illusion. Think about the journey of the caterpillar to the butterfly, or the journey of the dragonfly, whose, side note, this ugly dark night of the soul goes through this experience of all these ugly, messy changes, only to emerge as this stunning, beautiful dragonfly. Dragonflies are also synonymous with not only change and transformation, they're also deep mysticism is associated with dragonflies. And they're saying it's the culmination or the merging or the weaving and the combination of the dragon and the dragon flying in the most minute ways. We think of these beautiful, massive dragons as these powerful beings. but the might of the dragon lies within the dragonfly as well. Through the tiniest of the cracks, you will see the truth. They break through the illusions in the cracks where the larger energies cannot get in. This is connected to a quick channel I did based on a geisha, and I haven't posted it yet. Apologies, friends. Things have been so incredibly, and the momentum has been going fast, and time has been going so fast, and so much has been coming through. Please bear with me as I connect those in. Interesting, I didn't see those connections until right this moment. So that's another confirmation to post that as well. Now the dragonfly and the dragon, and connecting it to this card here. This is what's been going on. Dragonfly, truth, transformation, and this is what happens afterwards. Collaborative dreaming. I want you to notice the symbolism in this card of the woman in the center who is alive, coming alive, and yet the mirror reflections of her are there, as well as the shadow aspects on either side of her. But in the center of her, in the deep dwelling of the spirit and the soul and the being, is this aliveness, coming alive. It's like this energy is asking you to come alive, and you're going to know that this message is for you. They're saying because you will have felt this need, and it's not even just the season turning or the springtime or the influx in energy. It's like this recognition of being ready to fully live your life or engage with life. You're feeling your cells vibrate. I don't know how you want to label that, but it's time for you to dream collaboratively, honoring both your vibrancy of your color and your light, as well as any shadow aspects, but kind of spreading the shadow like this, they're showing me, and you emerge in your vibrant color is what I'm seeing. They're bending the card like, look at it as the stage show and entering the stage, right? It's time to pull the curtains back. It's time for the show to start. It's time for the journey to begin. It's all these beautiful energies that are coming through in it. Also notice the synchronicity. I'm going to hold this really, really close, and I'm hoping you can see that. Notice on her chest, that might be deemed, well, we'll just pretend we don't see it. You'll notice on her chest, she has that almost like mission bullseye. It's got that center point, which is a light, the Fibonacci, the spiral. Ooh, I get a very Celtic vibe with the spiral. Very Goddess Bridget. That's who it's tuning me to, Goddess Bridget. Notice it is the same, different deck, but I pulled the same card that, or a card from a different deck that has that similar spiral. And I'm hearing, it's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. So interesting. So I'm not really sure why Spirit is connecting these. They're saying go back to the collaborative dreaming. Look at the symbolism in the card. Notice that her in the shadow, her headspace is now illuminated with the light and the wisdom, the strength, the understanding, and has integrated it, which allows the curtains to be pulled back and a new life to spring forth. So it's the ability to craft, create, and build from a new state of being where the shadow hasn't caused a lens over top of you, and rather your vibrancy is getting ready to emerge. I love the spring, friends. Absolutely love it. So if that's yours, let me know in the comments. Markers, they're saying marker, marker, marker. Markers for knowing that that specifically for you is, you're going to sense these energies on such a beautiful uptick, an upswing, a lightening of it in some way, shape, or form. And it's going to be a beautiful energy. Like you may have moments of feeling absolute ecstatic joy. Two things are happening here in the collective, and it'll be the same for the other one, but slightly different message. Here's the things that are happening when you're having these sudden moments of excitement and joy, deliriously happy, skipping around the room, and it's just coming out of nowhere. One, you are sensing into that releasing of all the baggage, all the locks on your energy, all of the densities. You're feeling a releasing of that and that forward trajectory momentum. And two, you're also aligning with the collective net of light that's already aligned on that level. So sometimes, how do I explain that, Spirit? So when we talk about consciousness, For example, when you watch a YouTube video that feels so good and it's so high vibing and it's so aligned, do you notice that after you watch it, you feel that vibe? Notice that? Why is that? You've connected or aligned your consciousness with those who are already maintaining that level. This means when you align with that level of consciousness, there's this beautiful flowing of energy. It's giving, it's receiving, it's back and forth. And in that space of that level of consciousness, there's way less constriction, restriction, barriers, fear, shame, and guilt. Therefore, the energy moves so much more beautifully. You're gonna know if you felt it. Like, for example, in January, a beautiful soul here on YouTube, she did a video, and at the beginning of her video, she said something that made me weep with absolute joy. She said, it's like suddenly there's this bigger energy where everything is connected and I can feel how it's all connected. And I started crying because I was like, yes, there's going to be way more people lining up with this energy, not because some of you weren't already aligned with it, but it was just this moment of recognition of how many people are elevating to that space. And I'm speaking to this for the soul who's been lonely or feels alone on the journey, or feels like she hasn't or he hasn't been able to connect with other energies that are aligned, or connecting with people who you feel are aligned. It's almost like that's now coming into play. I'm seeing them magnetize the groups together who are really aligned with that. The moment we drop all of the other things and we just vibrate here, it's like it naturally, think about quantum physics, it naturally magnetizes it into those pods or those groups. Interesting way to view it, Spirit. And I have somebody's guide who's a shaman who is also here. These are flow throughs from the Willow channel, the Shaman's Invitation channel, as well as the Geisha channel and the Way of Water channel and the Way of the Forest channel. So interesting that these are all kind of like merging and moving, and one thread from here. Oh, here's what Spirit is showing me. They're saying, they're giving me the image of me doing this, but we wish to share with you that all of you are doing this. So the image they're giving me is, I'm actually seeing a projection of myself with this tapestry. It's like a piece of fabric. I'll use fabric because I love fabrics. Oh, I love fabrics and I love sewing. So the piece of fabric that they're showing me actually taking a thread and taking gold, vibrant frequency threads and weaving it into ding, 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 and weaving it into this beautiful fabric, into the fabric of reality, into the fabric of existence, into the fabric of what's being embodied on the earth plane. Okay, here's why they're saying this. This is an important metaphor or visual or concept to begin to integrate. The fabric is the embodiment of the physical 3D tangible earth plane. That's what it represents. Notice that fabric, when you touch it, is multiple threads woven together to create the actual fabric. They're saying if you move to the imagery spiritually of each of you taking a needle and thread and beginning to weave into the fabric of your reality, these golden threads, the golden weavers, someone is weaving magenta, someone is weaving a vibrant sapphire blue, and someone is weaving a beautiful, brilliant, resilient, and vibrant solar plexus yellow. So they're merging these not just with the color of the threads, but how they attune to the ray frequencies and the different meanings, as well as aligning with chakras. So whatever color comes to your mind as I'm sharing this, as you're receiving this, I'm hearing a projection of each of you on a spiritual realms to understand you're moving into this state. This is it. Got it. They're saying it's related to the collaborative dreaming. If this was your tapestry previously in some way, shape, or form, we are now collaboratively co-creating our tapestry of reality and actively taking and weaving the thread into the fabric or the tapestry that we choose. Pay close attention to the colors, the ray frequencies that you attune to, or I'm hearing, don't use false threads. Don't use false threads. Don't use a thread that you're hemming and hawing over to create your reality as a metaphor. So it's almost like if there's one where you're like, I'm not really sure I want to use that, but I guess I'll just use that for now. I'm hearing don't do that. You want to choose the ones that are aligned for you. Do not weave something with intention into your reality unless you are crystal clear, heart-based, desired, absolutely giddy in love with it. That's a very specific message for somebody who's doing collaborative dreaming right now, which is you being the conscious co-creator and actively choosing the colors of the threads you're going to weave into your physical embodiment. Because we all talk about, create your heaven on earth, but you are heaven and you are here on earth. Therefore, you are how it actually happens. It happens through you. And you must be the weaver of the tapestry. And the more conscious awareness we have of those things and our deepest desires, our needs, our wants, and where our soul is really destined to take us to in this evolution, all we have to do is take the needle and thread it through the eye of the needle, the color with which we wish to that was in opposition. I said the exact opposite. Talk about a tongue twister. You want to take at this moment in time through this portal of energy, focus every fiber of your being and saturate it with the color of your truest desire. Take that thread and thread it through the eye of the needle and take it and begin to sew the tapestry. This is the portal we're entering. This is the collaborative dreaming of the heavenly energies now being woven into the tapestry, and it's woven by you. It doesn't happen without you. You're part of it. You're the collaboration of the dream of existence. Ooh, my heart chakra's on fire right now. I got chills, they're multiplying. So funny. So that is the conscious message. And they're saying, go back to the faces in the card. Notice that her shadow face, or I'm getting a reference of Carl Jung, was actually the predecessor to being able to be vibrant and whole and weaving what you want. And without the dress rehearsal, wow, we're getting into real stage play here and role play. Without the dress rehearsal of the shadow and the experiences you had, you wouldn't be able to part the curtains to step into this collaborative dreaming. In this way, it truly is truth transcends illusion for all experiences, with deep gratitude for all of the things that have happened in our life. At the center eye point, seeing all the beauty of all of existence and the perfection of your life. Wow. Okay, we're 18 minutes in. That's the first message. I'm going to close it here. Is there a final message for this? They're saying, nope, bullseye in the room. That is completed. That's the first group. Now, the second group might be for you too, or you might notice you're stepping into the first group and this second group is a confirmation for you. So it could go both ways. The second group is the white owl after the storm and listening for truth. I'm hoping you see both those clearly. So I pulled these from the same deck. I didn't use the Dreamweavers, and first came that snowy white owl. And owls really are synonymous with being in the dark, right? But they're showing me it's the after the storm card. So for somebody who's feeling intense emotions coming up, this is related to the energetic, the serpent that's been moving in the sacral realms. And I'm going to lean into that channel in a little bit. We're going to focus on the owl and the storm area. The after the storm indicates that the storm allows you to suddenly have awareness. Oh, I have GUHYA here. When we have a psychological storm of emotions, old experiences, thought things getting in the way of that beautiful, freedom, liberated state, it's almost like we curse the storm, and yet it is the storm that brings the stillness and the truth. Like, notice in this card, she's naked. She's in the shadow and the darkness. She is able to listen for truth. Notice it is whispered from the depths of the ocean of her soul. And I'm supposed to reference the conch shell there for somebody on here. Perhaps you have one. Perhaps you're really in tune with mermaids, the sea, all those beautiful, wonderful things that I adore as well, my friends. I actually have a couple of those, so they're significant. But It's listening for truth. Like, I don't know if you guys know, when I was a kid, they used to say, oh, put the conch shell up to your ear and you'll be able to hear the ocean. But what's actually being heard in the conch shell? GUHYA says, it is not the ocean you hear in the conch shell. It is the reverberation and you're hearing your own vibrational energy being echoed through the spiral of the shell. Is that true, Spirit? I have a bullseye in the room. When you look at a conch shell, it actually has a spiral. Okay, I'm just rolling here, friends. I'm not sure if this is metaphorical or literal or both, because I've never researched conch shells, but they're saying that cochlear, something to do with the ear, the inside of the ear. When you place that conch shell, it gives this beautiful sound of the ocean. And they're saying, as a metaphor, that sound that you are hearing is not the ocean outside of you, it's the ocean within you. It's very loud. It's almost deafening when you begin to listen to it. And if you get quiet enough, you will hear the truth, because you are finally listening for the truth rather than speaking out or thinking out what you've only ever known or what you believe to be true or your limitations. So the storms at this point in time are meant to, like solar storms, it's the active. Anytime we have a vibrational raise or a frequency raise, whether it's through the Schumann resonance or solar activity, all those things, the moment those frequencies shift on a massive level, our capacity to utilize our brain and sense our body shifts with it. That's a very specific message for somebody on here. You cannot have a shift in the earth plane frequency, the atmosphere, the Schumann resonance, the solar activity outside of I'm seeing moving beyond the planes of the atmosphere of the earth. Anytime you have a shift in any one of those places, it's a domino effect. One affects the other. And we as individuals and human beings are naturally affected by this as well. This is when I say the cosmos are shifting us right now. Like, normally we're shifting and we're trying to align with a higher timeline and doing personal growth. But right now at this moment in time, the cosmos are shifting us in amazing and incredible ways. But there can be some intense emotions that come up that create a storm. And they're saying, if you're in the midst of the storm and all those emotions, we want to point to after the storm, where the sun, the solar is creating this storm. That's a moon in this card representing the owl, but Spirit is saying it's a sun for this metaphor and this example and this intuitive guidance. Notice it is number 1. So you might be feeling these intensity of emotion as predominant. It's very dominant for you. They're saying this is the sun, the solar eclipse that's creating the storm energy. The owl sees in the dark, and this is what's actually happening. You will discover truth if you simply listen for it. You can weather the storm. That has never been the issue. We are asking everyone to listen for the truth in the storm. The storm will be all the things that are no longer aligned with the truth, says GUHYA. Ooh, I love GUHYA. I love it. This psychological and emotional storms is actually everything that's been covering over the deepest truth from the depths of you. And the storm after the storm, you will sit quietly and listen for truth, and will receive it. To listen to the conch shell of the ocean is to listen to the internal ocean of you. Great truths reside in this stillness. And they're talking about the hum of the earth plane, and the energy is changing. I feel like you could look to science and that could be affirmed just based on the changes. But they're saying it goes deeper than that. Interesting. Spirit, what's the guidance? What's the divine guidance for this? GUHYA says, when a soul is ready for the truth underneath it all, that's when the storm arises. You sometimes look to the storms and think that they are unwanted. She says, but sometimes the storm is here because you are ready for the truth underneath it all. Therefore, every storm could be perceived as a type or a form of liberation, depending on what the storm is. Creating new order when you listen for the truth. Ooh. I'll be curious to know whose message that is or how that resonates. And actually, those lead beautifully and brilliantly. This is not where I expected this message to go, but we're just rolling with the energy that's happening right now with the solar eclipse. So there's so many shifting and changing energies that affect us on deep core levels in so many beautiful ways. And I feel like I don't need to go on about that, but I do feel like whoever this message is for, the owl one, you've got a very unsettled energy. That's what it feels like. Spirit is saying that's what the storm is intended to do. It's intended to destabilize any energies that have been covering over a deep truth within. So that destabilization or that storm, because it really feels like it feels, how do I explain that? It feels scattered. It doesn't feel grounded. It feels like it's all up in its head. It feels like its emotion is all over the place. It feels like this fluttering aspect, and not like the butterfly fluttering where it's barely discernible. This feels like somebody is rocking your world. The inner rocking of a world, the rocking of an inner world is what it feels like. And I wish to say that this energy started to feel like this when I said there was a switch. Wish and wish witch. A wish witch. Ooh, we're gonna be a wish witch. Ah, interesting. I also have the Buddha. You know, listening for, wow, the Buddha's listening for truth. Who listens into the conch shell. But I'm referencing an actual Buddha statue that I have where he's the laughing Buddha is smiling because he does not hear anything but joy, peace, wisdom, and happiness. Interesting messages to note that out there or close that out. Let me know if this is speaking to the energy for you right now and how you've been flowing with it. Thank you so much for all of your comments as well on the past few videos, friends. I'm just blown away by the incredible synchronicities, the very tangible evidence of this connection in the net of light of all of our consciousness when we raise it and open into those things. And yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting. So thank you for that, friends. And let me know where you landed on the, I'm seeing the scale of Truth Transcends Illusion, but you do this first for, ooh, full circle, says Spirit. Notice both cards have wings at the top. This one is Truth Transcends Illusion, and that's the end or the last point, the outcome. And the very beginning is this listening for truth. So that truth, oh, look at this, friends. I can't believe this. I'm just looking at it now as it's being raised up here. Okay, so I'm hoping that's super clear. Notice we start with the storm. We did this entire message. I went from the dragonfly down to her, then to the owl, and then to the listening for truth. And Spirit saying, now we're reverse engineering this. Notice that when you go through the storm, then you listen for truth, which then brings you to Truth Transcends Illusion, and then allows you to do some collaborative dreaming because you listened for truth. Look at the side-by-side bottom cards as well, right? Notice at the beginning, they said, we pull back the curtains. We're stepping onto the stage in our vibrancy once again, pulling back the shadows, right? Because we've looked at that, and notice she's listening for truth in the shadows. Dang, I could not have made that up, friends. And I wouldn't have seen that looking down at my desk here. I wouldn't have seen that. It wasn't until I held it up to the camera. And they're saying that's also a message for somebody on here. Sometimes when we're looking down, it's only one perspective. But when we turn it around and flip it around out here, we get a completely different perspective. I had a completely different perspective of these cards based on looking down versus sharing them to you. Wow. Welcome to life. Now my daughter's singing. I believe I can fly. That makes me giggle, and she is often referenced by the Dragonfly. Wow, now that's a weaving of a story with multiple interconnections, synchronicity signs, multiple ways of perceiving it, drawing in multiple teachings and wisdoms from different areas and also different perspectives. Because if you think about it, on a general note, one might perceive this to have been this wild weaving all over the place, scatteredness, but that's when you're in the moment of it. But if you zoom out to this beautiful tapestry Spirit just showed us, it's all interconnected, it's all woven, it all makes perfect sense, and it's all in alignment. And it doesn't matter if you started with the dragonfly or if you started with the owl, it doesn't matter which way you went through it. They're all interconnected. And that message is meant to give great peace and relief to someone on here that's in this storm energy. Wow. And a great high five. So proud of you, says Spirit. A great high five and so proud of you for the one who knows you are standing here and you are collaborating with the dream of reality, weaving the dream into your reality. You are be very proud if you are the one who is weaving your dream into the tapestry of reality, creating your heaven on earth, because you are heaven, and that thread gets threaded through you, by you, as the embodiment. So I'll leave it with you. I'm sending you all much love. If you want to connect with me for a private session or join one of our courses, please feel free to check that out on my website, erinchandler.com. And I will see you on the next video, beautiful souls.